I'm Amy DeVroon and welcome to Year of the Selfie podcast. 2020 has been a mad year thus far, a year where we've really had to take a look at ourselves. As a self-help nut, this hasn't been hugely out of the ordinary for me, but what has been so unusual is watching an entire creative industry grind to a halt in front of my very eyes. The link between creativity and mental health has always fascinated me, so I wanted to go deeper. In a world where we so often equate success with fame, it can be easy to forget the reason behind it all. Creativity. This unique, inexplicable gift. The thing we do where we lose all sense of time. The thing that lifts our hearts even in the darkest of moments. The thing that many of us feel we were put on this earth to do. So every week I'm going to talk to my guests about just that. Their creativity. Their highs and lows, and where they find their creativity when it feels like there's nowhere to put it. On today's podcast, we have none other than Irish actor Jade Jordan. She is one special lady, and I really think you're going to get a lot out of this, guys. So get comfy and enjoy. Okay, so Jade Jordan, welcome to Year of the Selfie podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Amy. Thanks so much.
Cool. I'm thrilled. I was just saying before we started recording that I'd actually been kind of watching Jade on social media and talking about kind of, when all the Black Lives Matter movement came on and you've been recording videos with your mom, and I was kind of watching those, and I'd been aware of you as well because we have a lot of random mutual friends. We're just saying how small Dublin is. And then I heard a great podcast. Is it What Makes You Tick?
Yeah.
I won an interview on that, and I was like, I have to chat to Jade because she's just amazing. And so I was but you were just saying actually before you came on, you were like, you used to bottle things up before. You wouldn't be someone who would like really open up. No. Is there anything that shifted? Was it COVID that made you kind of go, I'm going to just like start chatting?
I think so. Actually, yeah. Do you know what? I think so.
Yeah.
Randomly, I had literally just moved into a new house 3 days before isolation with a randomer.
No. Oh God.
Yeah. Like, what's the fucking chances of that? Yeah. Like, just my luck. But come here, it was grand. Yeah. But I've been doing a lot of writing, and writing's totally new for me. I've never done it before. And yeah, just kind of started talking about things, and obviously we're talking to friends over phones. We're trying to communicate that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just obviously the movement of the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
I'd been writing my family story. I started filming my nanny. Yeah. Actually, in about 2016, just asking her about her past.
Yeah.
And then obviously when this all escalated, I was like, I feel like I need to do something now. To make people aware that it was and is still a problem in Ireland.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got on the phone to my man. I was like, would you be interested in letting me film you? And she was kind of like, that's not really my bag, but I'll do an audio. And I was like, well, cool, let's do an audio. Got in touch with a friend. I'm crap with like technology and stuff. I was like, how do I even start? What do I do with stuff like this? And he came up with the idea to kind of have a little black background and have the white and white. So even if you couldn't hear it, you could read it, and I think it would still have the same effect, So it just escalated. Like, I really, honest to God, the response from those videos with my ma has just been insane. Like, I can't even, it's mad.
I feel like it's because it's so blatantly, honestly, her story, and there's no agenda behind it. It feels like it's not like you're going like, let me teach you now, let me tell you everything. Like, you're just going, this is real and this is happening and here it is. And if you want to take a look at it, like, it's right under your nose. Because I always feel like in Ireland, sometimes we feel, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes we kind of like to fool ourselves and think like, oh no, because we're real evolved now, because, like, we have gay marriage now. Oh, isn't that great? And so we're really evolved and we think everyone's equal. And I don't really think that's really where we are. I just think that we just haven't seen enough of the stories of people who've been through.
It's just mad. And it kind of as well, when you're talking about things like that, you kind of don't want to push things either. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to be preaching and pushing things on each other. So I kind of wanted to do it just like, and it was just a chat. Do you know what I mean? We sat there for about an hour and a half. and just had a really chat. I learned a lot of things I didn't know. So it was really raw. Do you know what I mean? There was one of the tapes in there. It was called What? And I discovered something that I didn't know about my nanny's family. So it was just really honest. And I kind of think the response from it has made me just want to talk more. I'm like, if I can help somebody, well then great. And, I have, I actually have. And that's all you ever want to do in life. Do you know what I mean? For me anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's me telling it and, releasing loads of things and still educating myself. But I've really helped people, even with the last podcast, just even like I was speaking to yourself about before, about drama school. I didn't know how many people had such a horrific time in drama school. The amount of people that touched base and I was like, oh my God, I thought I was alone.
Yeah. So did you actually, did you go to, so did you move to London to go to drama school, or was that something that you were like, I'll do that when I get there? Like, what was the timeline there with that? Like, what age were you going to drama school? Or
So I moved when I was 20, and then I went over and started working, obviously, because drama school is so expensive. So 2 years in, I started. So 2011, I went to drama school. It was a 2-year course, and I left in 2013. But yeah, like we were even saying before, it's such a bloody hard time.
It's I think just with drama school, and I think I'm sure people have it in Ireland as well, I know, but I feel like the ones in the UK are particularly expensive, and then people having to work like all hours of the day at night. And I used to have friends that would literally just be coming out the door at 6 o'clock, and they would just go straight to their bar job, and then you'd be getting up for rehearsals or for drama school the next day. And so in one way, you're emotionally tired because you're kind of discovering yourself while you're there. You're physically tired because you're working every hour God sends. And then if you don't have the support of the people there, like, did you have? You were saying you had a weird experience, like with is it the artistic director of the place where
the principal?
The principal, So what was that for anyone who hadn't heard the other? What was that experience? Because I feel like I was lucky. I came out of drama school and I'd taken what I needed out of it, but I had so many friends who were really their confidence was shook after the experience, and a lot of them walked away from acting, and a lot of them just couldn't then find a way back in. Like, it felt like it was impossible.
Yeah, but as well, when you leave this industry, it's hard to come back into it, I think. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it was just, and as well, you've got to remember, you are really a baby when you're going to drama school.
Especially when you're about 20 or 22, like, you have a clue who you are. You have
no idea. And I actually thought, if I'm honest with you, I always thought I knew who I was, and I was ready to go to drama school. It was everything I wanted. I was so confident. You still have those little voices in your head going, you're shy. But I was pretty confident going in there. I wasn't confident enough going, I don't need to train. But I was confident in myself, my body, and was really ready for it. And from early on, I just felt really awful. I was constantly comparing myself to people, and I'd never done that in life before. And, I said before, and I think we were chatting about it, you're asked to really rip yourself apart. And, I understand that to a certain extent, I do. Because you've got to be able to take on these characters and stuff. But sometimes I think it's a little bit unnecessary. You don't need to really rip yourself back and go back to childhood and bring up trauma from years ago, especially if you don't have somebody to mind you. And a safe place to feel like, well, if I am going to release all this, well, then, I have somewhere safe that I can go and talk about it. And as well, when you're living away from home, I was lucky all my girlfriends moved with me, so I had them, but I was just so busy working that I felt really, really alone. Really alone. And the support, if I could turn back time, I wouldn't necessarily choose that drama school.
And did you go in full of, like, could you see a significant difference, you going in kind of full of beans? And do you think that was even, like, I always wonder if people like that, does somebody just kind of not take to them and go, no, I'm gonna take this person down a peg or two or something? Not that you would have gone in like you thought, the shit.
And I never,
you're happy in yourself,
Yeah, I'm just a really bubbly person. Like, just put me in a room with people, I'll just talk.
Yeah.
I just love talking. I love people. And I don't know if that was the case. I think as a year group, we were all ripped apart.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it was 17 of us, 12 or 13 were offered antidepressants. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I do want to get into that, because I just think that's fucking mental. Like, was it like that you were were you just taken aside and advised that you should go on antidepressants? Like,
we used to have like a counselling, it's all very weird.
Yeah.
And, you've got to be so careful with what you say too. It was a weird setup, where the principal and the counsellor, are very close. And, you go and have these chats. Were meant to be confidential. And you'd go and have the chats, and then the next day something would be said back to you. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
So anyway, you're told from the get-go, literally week in, this is what you should do. You need to talk about things, it'll help you. And you do. You want to be the best. You're paying all this money. You want to do whatever you can do to get to where I suppose you want to be, you want to work, you've all these things in your head. And yeah, I was offered antidepressants, I think, quite early on. And at the time, I felt like a shell of a human. I just wanted something to make me feel better.
Yeah.
And I remember ringing me ma at the time, and my ma said, I think you're mad. I think you're fine. You'll be able to work through it, You have all of us here. And as well, you're not going home because you need money. And, you're keeping yourself away and only going home for Easter and Christmas or whatever. But luckily enough, I kind of realised at a point, maybe 5-6 months in, I was like, I don't fucking need these.
Yeah.
And they help some people. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but it's such a personal thing, because some people you can really see, that is definitely the thing that you needed, the crutch or the tool that you needed to get you to the next thing.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's like it's just thrown on them without thought.
I think that was the case in that place. And I don't think people that are, there was people there that are 17, 18. Yeah. I don't think that should be the first answer to you feeling shit. We're only human. We're going to have days where you feel fucking amazing and days where you feel shy.
Exactly.
That's
and so many people, like, what is it, 17 people? It's very unlikely that in a clump of people in the same situation that 17 of them are going to need the exact same sort of treatment for probably feeling emotions and feeling things they haven't felt before. And
yeah, like I just, and there was even a point like where I'd kind of stopped taking the tablets, and I'd stopped taking them, just kept my mouth shut, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was then told about, I told you they'd work, Jade. Told you they'd work, and I was fucking off the things.
Oh my God, that just goes to show you, like.
And then being told to up my dose, and I wasn't even on them anymore.
Oh my God. You see, and it's weird, because I think I was talking to Sean actually about this earlier. I was going, it's a weird thing with people in drama schools, people who have this power. And so many of them abuse it. They really do. And actors are so vulnerable and so hungry and so dying to work and do anything that you're basically willing to do whatever they want and whatever they say, because you think that that's what the industry is.
Yeah.
Like, I remember even times when somebody would say to me, you do not go to the toilet, like, at all. You do not ask, can you go to the toilet? And I get that. You wait for break times, or you wait for whatever, like breaks or whatever. In the industry, you can't just leave the stage. You can't just leave the set. And I was going, there's times when, they're kind of like, take a break there, and you're like, you'll nip out to the toilet. I'm like, it's not like that. You don't lose a job. Like, you don't have to make yourself a punching bag in order to get work, like.
We're told that in drama school, though. You can't do that. You can't ask questions. You're there to do the job. It's not like that in the big bad world. It really isn't. I didn't know what to expect when I went into the big bad world, because I was told, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And nearly as well. Like, you trained in London as well, did you?
Yeah.
It's like, you've got to remember, they're only human on set as well.
Yeah, exactly. And some directors are like, listen, this is what I'm thinking. Should we just kind of walk this through, or should we? And you're like, oh shit, like I have to give an idea now. And you've been so trained to be like, to shut up and do the right thing, that it's actually sometimes you're a bit stilted, even though that would be your instinct to go, I'm thinking of trying this, and if it's not right, let me know, but I'll just throw this in, you know. But it's really terrifying, because we're so used to being told, like, don't, like, just shut up and just be good.
Just shut up and get on with it. But you know, nobody wants that when you're on set, or, you know, people want to know Amy and want to know Jade. They want to know you as a, you know, they want to know you. They don't want you to be a little robot.
No.
How boring is that? If you stand there and just take direction and don't ask, well, actually, why am I doing that? Or how about if I, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it works, and that's how you get really great work.
Yeah. And it's really scary. I'm even thinking to myself, there's been so many jobs where I have to like knock myself out of being like, just Amy, just go in and like, just be really nice and do the thing, you know, and be like, because if you can read the room, if the room is the type of room where they go, what are you thinking, Amy? You know, you can say what you think. You don't have to, yes, that's absolutely fine. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Yeah. You're sweating, sweaty hands. And I call them NWs, you know, when you've got nervous wheeze.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? NWs. Like, I don't really have the NWs anymore, because I'm kind of like, you know, I go into a room. I used to, I don't know about yourself, but you used to kind of, I've always been myself in a room, but I used to kind of, you know, talk a little bit different, and, you know, kind of take it down a notch. Now I walk in like, hey, what's the story? Do you know, but you know, and actually they really enjoy that more than you just going in and being really, you know, that makes you different from the, you know, one role. You know yourself, for many people, they might see for that one role. They don't know what they want. They're calling loads of different people. And if you just go in and be you, they're going to go, right, cool, actually, she's not right for this, but actually I might for that. Or so being yourself is like, that's something I'm bleeding loving, actually, is just being me. When I walk in the room, I think it's so important. Like, I see, like, you had Thomas Kane Byrne on. And I look at him and I think, do you know what? For somebody that's so young and know himself, I'm just like, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because it's very clear. Like, even from talking to him, I was going, oh, you know, like you know, he's young, so there might be times when he'll learn different things, or things will change, and all those kind of things that happen as you grow older. But my God, there's not a question. I would be like, oh, I know that's that person, or, you know, even with his, and I suppose it translates then through to his work as well. How amazing at that age to just actually go, do you know what,
this is me, and you get what you see. I just think, and you know, everyone goes through different, like, you know, we all have to go through different stages to get to, you know yourself. Like, maybe I kind of feel like years ago I was ready to start acting. I was ready to start getting loads of work. But actually, when I sit back down now, I obviously wasn't.
Yeah. Like, there was a gap, wasn't there? Was there, like, because it feels like in the last couple of years, I feel like I've seen you loads, and I feel like I didn't see you much before that. And there's always a time that things start to ramp up or something. So there was a time when you weren't getting a huge amount of work, or you were doing other bits and bobs, or
it was like 2013 I graduated, and you know yourself, you're trying to get stuff for this. I did musical theatre, so I did a little bit of theatre, and then I realised, well, I love theatre, but musical theatre wasn't for me. Then I just got in touch with a load of unis. I was like, can I do shorts? Got myself a little show reel. Then I was like, right, let me see if I can get an agent with what I have. And then it kind of, if I'm honest with you, I didn't really work very much till maybe 2017. It kind of started. So I had 4 years of like, oh my God, what am I doing? Do you know?
Yeah.
I always grafted. That's one thing I can say. I never once was like, I'm leaving. This is not for me. I was constantly doing workshops. I think that's key. You have to just keep yourself
ticking over,
working, even if you're not working. Do you know what I mean? Keeping yourself, I suppose, ready for when, you know. And I think as well, that's an important thing to say. You can't kind of wait for your agent to do all the work either.
No.
I'm very proactive in the sense that if I get a new show reel done, I'll jot down an email and go, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Just sending you over my details. Do you know, I think it's important now don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting there bleeding haunting them every couple of months, just you know
but it is just keeping yourself out there, like being like, I'm still in this industry, just to let you know. I know you mightn't have seen you mightn't have seen me in a while, but just when you start getting bored of the other people, I'm here.
So it is, and I'm sure you do that yourself. I think you kind of just need to keep yourself ticking over. But I was so quiet until about 2017.
And then was Rosie that the turn, like, was not the turning point, was that a kind of point where that gig came along and then it
was actually. I was after getting doctors, I think. I did doctors, and then Rosie came. And then after Rosie, I decided to move back. I was like, well, I kind of, bless her, Louise Kiley calls me, she sees me she's a diamond, you know, she really did open a door for me. And auditions started to come in. And I was like, actually, do you know what? Maybe I'll go back and give Dublin a shot. They kind of were calling me home, you know. So I thought, give it, best thing I could have done.
Yeah.
I think for me.
Yeah, I found weirdly that as well. I was going, as soon as the work starts tipping in my favour in Ireland, and it was, as in stuff was happening over here, and casting directors, because there's so few of them, are kind of, where it seemed to, you know, it's small, you're like, oh yeah, they'll see you for that, they'll see you for that. Whereas in the UK, it always felt a bit more kind of a, I would still get gigs over there, but it was definitely tipping in my favour over here, for sure.
I think we're a bit different over here, are we? Like, in the sense that, you know, if they like you and, you know, there's something there for you, they'll try for you. I think that, I think, and if you're as well, I think it's so important, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, be a nice person.
Yeah. And
people will see it if they like you. I think that's key. I think that's just, be a nice person.
Did you have any, like, did you have any kind of shame in coming back to Ireland, or were you just like, no, I'm ready? Like, or were you like, oh yeah,
of course.
It is a weird kind of like,
absolutely. Absolutely. I was like, everyone's going to say, thought you moved away for acting. I'm from Blanchardstown, so it's quite small. Everyone knows you and knows your business, you know. So what that did, it kind of freaked me out. It was like, people are going to go, oh my God, she's given up, and thought you moved away for the acting, and it obviously didn't take off. And you kind of just have to get out your own head, because people didn't actually say those things. Do you know what I mean? They might have been thinking it, but they didn't. It was everyone was very supportive, and like I think that's you. That's those voices again.
Yeah, you're almost trying to judge yourself before anyone else gets the chance to judge it. Yeah. So you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm probably, like, and you're figuring out what the response will be to it, which is like it's actually grand. Like, no one actually cares, because everyone's so interested in their own shit. They don't really want to.
Absolutely. And you know, I think it's so small over here as well. I found it when I got the Abbey gig last year. I did City Song. I was really nervous because, you know, it was the Abbey, and it's always been a massive dream. And I don't feel like I didn't really know any actors over here, really.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh God, I felt so out of my depth. But the people I was with, you know, Amy Conroy and Dan Monaghan, and the people I was working with, kind of took you under their wing. And within that, like, you're going over to Piper's for a drink after the show or whatever, just the one, or you get to know so many people. And it's so small, and it's lovely. I kind of feel like I'm finally getting to know people. Do you know that?
So and it's odd, because actually it's good to hear that, because I always feel like I used to and I think people do have that in theatre in Ireland, where I was going, oh God, we have to know people to get a gig in theatre in Ireland, because I always felt like I could really get into the film kind of community or TV community screen work over here. I always felt such a gap and a distance from the theatre world. Yeah. It's actually really nice to hear that, like, you actually can get a gig without knowing anyone, because there is something in Ireland where everyone goes, where do those people drink, and we'll start befriending them, and then we'll get a gig out of them. And it's like, that shouldn't be how it works, you know. It should be based on work, like.
Absolutely. It's just mad. And with that, within a week or two, you know, you're kind of like, how are you kind of know actors now, or you know, you're seeing. I wasn't over here auditioning, so you know the way you see faces, and you kind of say, hey, I wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
London, I had that, but London's so big that you wouldn't might see the odd face.
Yeah.
And then, like, you've just, and everyone's just really supportive. And I think that's it as well over here. Like, if somebody's putting on a piece of writing, we'll all go and support it. I think that's...
Yeah.
And everyone thinks of you. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's like, yeah, thinking of you, I think.
Yeah.
Which is it's so different to London.
And what with when you did City Song, like, were you like hugely nervous or like doubting yourself or anything? Because I'm just thinking, had it been quite a while since had it been London since a theatre gig, and then you're going on to the Abbey, which I think everyone is like, it's, you know, if you're an Irish person, it's in your DNA to kind of want to play the Abbey at some point in your life. Like, were you just...
shit myself.
Yeah.
I shit myself, and constantly the whole way through the process. And I get a little bit annoyed at myself now still, because I still had them doubts in my head every day. You are not good enough. You shouldn't be here. And I obviously was, or I wouldn't have got the gig.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
totally.
I still have, and I feel like even since then last year, so we started in March, April last year, I feel like as a performer, I've got even better at controlling.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know I don't really know. Is it age? Do you
Yeah.
get a little bit more in tune with you when you're in your 30s? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know
Maybe you
what I mean?
do. Or you kind of, or you realize, I don't know, I think sometimes you realize the art of it. I feel like, I think I was saying that me and Emma Manley were talking about that. When you're in your 20s, it's all about the kind of like, I want to be in this thing, and I want to be in this thing, and I want to win this award. And it's all very external. Yeah. And then but as you get a bit older and you've done all the shit jobs, you're kind of going, you just want the feeling of being creative and being an actor, and sometimes you can be doing it over a pub, and that'll be the most fulfilling thing. And sometimes when it's a good gig in the Abbey for yourself, you're like, yeah, that's exactly, like, this is the epitome. I'm working with the best people, and everyone's at the top of their game here.
Yeah. It's gas, like, and as well, should I even say this? It's kind of, when you think of the Abbey, like, obviously we've all gone to see shows there growing up. I kind of thought everyone would be really like quiet, and they're just all mad.
Yeah.
Again, they're all normal people, but you don't think you don't think.
Because actually, when you go to, like, as a kid, when you go to the Abbey, it was a different type of show, like different types of shows, very fancy, and
yeah, and like that, if your ma brought you to theatre or something, you dress up in your nice dress, and it's gas, like, because I was saying, I was only telling a friend there a while ago, obviously, same as your parents, your family are so proud of you when you do anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, my ma came to see every show, and on the first night, 2 minibus loads came to the Abbey.
Oh my God.
No. But
Brilliant.
Neil Murray and all, they lapped it up. Andrea Ainsworth, they just thought it was brilliant. And you know, it's just, I think, I know I keep probably repeating myself, but I think you just don't see casting directors and directors as normal people.
No.
They have a shit day, they have a good day. Because they're in drama school, they're put on that pedestal. Yeah,
totally. And actually, because I saw a thing where that Ali Coffey put up on social media the other day, because she used to be an actor. She was.
I was only reading it this morning. How beautiful was she?
Yeah, and I was going, God, because she was saying, like, she was an actor. She was like, she gets it. Actually, Louise Kiley was an actor as well.
Yeah.
Like, they get it. And she was like, we want you to be good. Like, we want, and I think that's so important as well for actors to remember, like, they want you to solve their problem. They have a problem. Yeah. They need you to fix it. They need you to be the person. And if you come into the room and you're not the person, it's okay, because it's just, you haven't been the thing that's going to fix that problem. Someone else might be, on that particular day. But it's not like, if you're in the industry, you're talented. Like, I think that's, people forget that. It's like, if you got this far, there's some talent there. Like, Jesus Christ.
I really like, I'm keeping that. I really like that. I really like that. But it's true.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, do you know what I mean? You would have given up by this stage if you were like, I don't think, unless there's something completely really wrong with you where you completely deluded.
That's it. They want you to succeed.
Yeah.
They want you to solve their issue straight away, so they don't have to see 1,000 people.
Yeah, because you hear those nightmare things where they're going, we couldn't find the the normal people thing of like, I think they found Paul Mescal quite early on in the process, but it was kind of, they really struggled to find the Marianne, the Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, that would have been like a headache for them. Like, they wanted to find her. So,
oh my God. What a cracking show.
Oh, it was brilliant. Oh, it was so good.
God.
So good.
God. The chemistry between the two of them and how brave of the two of them. Like, oh my God. I was just like that the whole way through.
Yeah.
I was like down at you. The whole production, everybody in it was just superb.
It was brilliant. It was just so well, every little element of it like just came together so beautifully. And the whole, and I thought, all the stuff about the Joe Duffy and the intimate scenes, I'm like, oh God, come on. Like, they were so beautiful. I thought it just showed intimacy on set and on film and everything, and with young people in a really beautiful, truthful, well done way. Like, it was so good.
And not only that, I think that itself will put Ireland, the talent here is insane.
Yeah.
What we've got is really bloody special.
There's some really, and I hope that like the casting directors continue to look a little bit outside the box, because I think that was a huge part of it over here, as people started going like, hang on, let's have a look over here. Or I felt like that, like when I was over in the UK, I definitely felt that. I remember Louise Kiley was starting out it was early stages there, and she was kind of, and she would always get me in for a few bits, and I always felt like that's really clever what she's doing, because she's keeping an eye on people who have not stayed here, or who are from here, or who are kind of like, who are doing stuff, like keeping her head outside the box, like, looking around.
Like I was saying before, when she started seeing me, I wasn't here. She's great at that, at still plucking people that are away and kind of. But I remember Maureen, you saying to me before, we love when, because it's kind of the thing to do, isn't it? You want to go to drama school, or even if you go to drama school here, then you make the big move to London.
Yes.
They bloody love us coming back. I remember Maureen saying, we love when you come back.
Yes.
That's exciting when an actor comes back to work.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's happening so much anymore. I think everyone's I kind of know in the acting scene at the moment, there's a lot of people that kind of moved, but they're kind of just all on the Venga bus coming home, I think, really, do you know?
Yeah, I think because our industry is so strong at the moment, I think there's no reason for them to be kind of over there, and everything is so small. And with self-tapes, I think that's made such a huge difference, the self-tape thing, because you can be wherever you want to be now at this stage.
Absolutely.
With self-tapes. Like, and most people are, like, I know that sometimes getting in the room is, I miss getting in the room as much as you used to.
I know.
Because that is that personality thing as well, of being able to present yourself. But I think, there's definitely, I think people are kind of less, I think people are going to the UK if they specifically see something for themselves over there, as opposed to, and I think if people did that back in the day, it was kind of a fear thing. It was like, well, I have to go and find something else. And it was kind of this manic going over there for 2 years and kind of manically coming back.
Yeah, agreed, absolutely. I still can't even believe I did nearly 10 years over there. Like, time just bloody flies.
Yeah.
Flies.
Like, with the kind of like the day-to-day jobs, would that have been your lowest time? Because it's funny, I was talking to Paul Reed on the podcast, and he was saying he had a couple of years that was very quiet for him, and I remember those couple of years, and he was going but he was going, I was working in a hotel or something. It was the best couple of years of my life, because I think for him, he felt like it took the pressure off, and he could just be doing this kind of job, and it was grand.
Yeah.
But would you have felt quite low? Because I remember the quiet times in London and temping, doing those temp jobs. Oh my God, literally the most depressing time in my life.
Soul destroying. Yeah. I was working in Pizza Express, and then I was working I had about 4 or 5 jobs. Like, I was a lunatic, and I was a ball of anxiety.
Yeah.
And the turning point was like, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'd done Rosie, then I went traveling for 3 months. I came back and I was like, I'm not willing to run this rat race anymore, actually. And then just started focusing on myself, but no, soul destroying. Working in theatres when I was in drama school, going to the theatres in the evening, being an usher, I quite enjoyed that, because everybody, you're in drama school, you're training. everybody's kind of doing the same thing, and you're having the mad amount of crack, and you're auditioning together and whatever. But no, then when I had nothing, no, I was waitressing, and it was a miserable fuck. I was like, what am I doing with my life? And still not having a penny.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. And over there, it feels so much worse because you're so alone. It's not like you can go home to your like mum's house for dinner, or like,
and I don't know as well. I think it's a little bit more acceptable to be broke here. I presume that's because we have our family around us. If you go through a tough time, it's a little bit more acceptable. But it's not acceptable over there because you're on your Todd. So no, I wasn't like, I was always, I'm a happy bee anyway, but I was just like, this cannot be my reality forever. And that's great. It's I never want to shit on anybody's job. That's for some people. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, because some people love it, and that's the thing. It's like, if you love it, that's brilliant. But like, it's the worst thing is to do a job, no matter what job it is. It could be the best paid job in the world, but if you hate it, there's no joy in it. There's no point doing it.
Yeah, like it is. It's just it's a funny world. I know. We all have to go through that. I think as an actor, sometimes people come out of drama school and they work consistently, and then they hit a rock, or sometimes it goes the other way for people. But I suppose you just have to always turn around and go, well, then this is my time if things start coming. Like, I have never been so busy. I started off 2020 quite busy. And even, we all went down into isolation, and everyone was just like, oh, God. But the phone hasn't stopped. So it's insane. It's insane. I'm just very overwhelmed at the moment. I'm very, very, very grateful. It's mad.
Yeah, because I was going to say, with getting Macushla, I was calling it Macushla the other day, and then my dad was like, and my dad's like, it's Macushla, raging at me. But with Macushla, were you like, how did you deal with that? Because like, that was that the day before rehearsals or something? Were you like, it was heartbreaking, but it was out of our control. So there's feck all you can do about it. But I was just delighted to be in a room with Thomas. To be honest with you, I think he's not that much younger. It is younger than me. He's a fair bit younger than me. What is he? 25? Yeah, I think so.
He's around that, is he?
I think so. Well, he's definitely not 30s yet. Anyway,
no, he's definitely not. And I really looked up to him. So I was like, I hadn't really met him before. I'd only met him at like a show or something. So I was buzzing about that, and I love him and Erica together. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff together, and I was like, oh, brilliant. With Ronan, great director, Hilda Faye, I was like, oh my God, ledge ball, delight. And then a girl called Jessica Servi, who from London, long story short, her family knows mine, but we never knew till we met. And it was just, the rehearsal room was crack. Do you know what I mean? It would have been, and it will come back, I know. It just would have been a belter, like an absolute belter.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's Macushla. It was TKB's new show, and it was part of the This Is Pop Baby Festival. Amazing talent. And actually, Jessica, I know Jessica as well, and she had been in The Commitments on the West End, and this was kind of like, I guess, her first gig in Ireland, really, wasn't it? Like, she was buzzing for it, and
she was buzzing for it. And I think Jessica as well is at that point where she kind of wants to be working at home too. You know what I mean? And like that, working with TKB, she was buzzing. Do you know what I mean? And This Is Pop Baby as well. Like, what they do is great. It was such a really massive, and the music was incredible. The writing was hilarious. Like, it will have a life again. I know that 110%. But I think it was just it was out of our hands. So
it's so weird how everyone has responded to it like that. I don't think anyone was kind of like, no, I took to the bed now for a few days, like was really upset, or everyone just kind of, I think because there's no one, you've no FOMO because nobody else is working. Like, everybody has stopped working. So there's a kind of a weird comfort in it. But it's still, when it's gigs like those, it's like, no, I just want to.
I know. I know it will come back. I'm such a strong believer. I was buzzing for it. But sure, look, it will come back. Definitely. But like, we've all had this time, I think, as well. Like, you know, you're doing great work here. Everybody's just really delved into being creative, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the writing to come out of isolation is going to be insane.
Yeah. And have you been writing, was the writing about your family story, did that come before you were ticking away at that before isolation, and then has kind of isolation kind of ramped that up a bit?
Yeah, it was one of those things. I said I started filming, it was probably about 2015, 16. And I'm sitting here like everybody else going, what the fuck am I going to do with my time? There's only so much running I can do. There's only so much baking you can do. So I was like, it's time to sit down and look at these videos and start writing. Started writing in the sense that it was like, I would like to do something with it in the future. Yeah. Whether it would be a short or, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Such a great place to write something, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
I found it really therapeutic.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's absolutely so new for me. I actually really, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a long, you have your days where you get up and you're like whacking it out, and then you've a while where you're going, I can't. But yeah, loved it. I wrote my first short, which was really cool. I'll do something with that eventually. And to cut a long story short, I obviously have been doing the audios.
Yeah.
And a really amazing publisher got in touch with me, and she was kind of like, what are you writing about? Blah blah blah. And these guys are really big, and I was just a bit like, what? Yeah. So to cut a long story short, no contracts are signed, but gonna be doing a bit of writing.
Nice. So like a book, a bit of a book out of it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my God.
Like, yeah. So nothing, I can't really say too much about it at the moment, but it's like, that's incredible. Yet again, I was like, people want to hear my story, my family story. You're like, what? So I'm very overwhelmed. Like, it is an understatement. But yeah, who knew?
But it's like a testament of that thing. Because I always find that when I just start really, like in a really relaxed and natural way, making my own work, or kind of going like that, where you write a short and you go, that's a short. Okay. Yeah, I'll just put that there. And when the opportunity arises for that, like, you know, when you do it in a really natural way, I think it does start like sending out a little, it's almost like sending out a little message out into the ether that like, I'm open and available for anything really. And loads of stuff starts coming in.
I know. You're like, what the hell? And I'm saying to the girls, oh God, Jesus, something bad is going to happen. And if all this good has happened, you know, these. And they were like, no. You grafted for all these years. Yeah. It's coming to you now. You put it out there. You're obviously ready for it. Yeah. So just accept. Stop looking to try and go, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that and it's going to end bad. Just embrace it and go, do you know what? Actually, I truly do deserve what's coming to me at the moment. Yeah. As overwhelming as it is, like, do you know what I mean?
And actually, is there something that those quiet times, do you feel taught you that you have now? Do you know what I mean? Like, like, is there anything that you're like, do you know what it taught me though? And it'll never be that bad again because it taught me something, you know, or because I always feel with those quiet times in or the times I was grafting and barely anything was happening, you know, in London, or I'd be, you know, but I always kind of go, no, but it taught me that like, I can do it. Like I have it. So like, if every gig falls away, I can just sit down with my pen and paper and I can make something happen because I'm able to.
And you're a prime example of that. Absolutely. You did some amazing work, you know? Yeah. And I think it teaches us as well. It just goes to show we want it. Yeah. Actually. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think so many people, and I understand people dropping out, you know, money, families, I get it. But I think when you have those quiet times as well, it actually just confirms that, you know, actually this is what I want to do. Yeah. Because half the time as actors, you know, we're unemployed more than we're employed until we're at that point. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think, like, I know you do yoga. Like, for me, I don't do massive amounts of it. Yeah. But, like, yoga was introduced to my life a couple of years ago. Meditation, I was always one of those people like, oh, sure, Jesus, I can't meditate. Yeah. I actually can. Yeah. You know what I mean? We actually can if you just be still and just give yourself that time. I think it's important to give yourself that time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a busy bee. I'm sure you're a busy bee, where we're constantly trying to figure out what can I do to better myself, or what course can I sign up to, and you know, but yeah, just being and just taking a step back and going, you know what, yeah, this is where I want to go. I've made this choice and I'm okay with not having a house by this time and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All the ideas,
yeah. And just believing that, you know, I used to always say, sure, I couldn't write.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We always say these things to ourselves, don't we?
Yeah. Because you're imagining, I always thought it was like, oh, somebody would sit down and it would be in a very, I don't know, real like formal way, and they would write their big thing. And then suddenly I realized, oh no, it's scraps of paper, it's little ideas, it might be a poem, and then a character comes and you're and you're just making something out of nothing. Like, it's not this kind of very formal process where you sit down, you go, and today I'll write 1,000 words. And the theme will be this, and you know, I feel like it's a much more, for me anyway, messy, weird, fun little, you know, game.
Yeah. And you know what, you're probably going to laugh. I don't know what helps you with writing, but do you know Einaudi, the Italian pianist?
Oh yes, I do. Yes. Because it's so epic, his music.
Oh my God. Like, I'm sure my housemate hates me, but like, that just really bloody helps me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I even figured it. I don't know how I was just like, put Einaudi on at the beginning of isolation, and it just takes me into a world, and I'm like, do you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'd marry him. Like, he's amazing. Yes. He does things for me in my head. So I suppose everybody has their own little.
Yeah.
I suppose everybody's really different. You know, I kind of, again, going back to Thomas, he's doing so much writing at the moment. I kind of think, how can you do so much? Like, I'm focusing on one thing.
Yeah.
He's got a million and different. I suppose maybe I will be able to be there someday, but it's mad. Like, it takes you to play. Yeah, it's really therapeutic, and I'm bloody mad about it. I'm delighted. Isolation is kind of, I didn't have a bad isolation, actually.
No, I'm dying to hear, like, because any actors, well, particularly actors that I've been talking to, no one seems to have had that bad a time. We are trained for the quiet, but I think it opened up like a kind of a vessel of, like, because also there's no end to it. So if you bump into somebody, like, you're not going to bump into somebody in the pub and they're like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm still quiet, but I'm doing loads of writing. Like, it's not for a result. It's like, obviously there is an end result, but it's not this immediate result of like, and now I need to get the funding for the thing. It's kind of this natural process. And then these little funding things are coming in where people are like, oh, that might be, actually, I might apply for that one for this thing that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite natural and real, as opposed to for this kind of, for something to say to people when it's really awkward in the pub after a show and someone's like, what are you up to? And you're like, nothing.
And that, you know, that question, Amy, I'm sure you've had it. They don't mean it in a bad way, because people just don't get this world, and that's all right.
Yeah.
But why don't you put yourself up for that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go for that? It doesn't fucking work like that.
I know. Do you know what in that? Oh yeah. Oh, will I ring them? I'll give them a ring. Yeah. Sorry, they mustn't realise.
And bless them. It's not from a bad place, but sometimes you're like, will you ever, just for Jesus' sake, leave me alone?
Yeah. Oh no, it's
not a bad place. They want you to do well, but yes, it's a world that they've no idea of how it works.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
But yeah, like, isolation, you know, each person had a different experience, but it could have gone anyway for anybody. I think you could have gone into that really dark hole and not got yourself out of it, or you could have just chose to get on with life. And when it was safe to see people, go see people. Yeah, I think humans, we need human contact.
Yeah,
like, that's Jesus, you need that.
Yeah, no, and it's really, I feel very bad for the people for anyone who's very much on their own. I'm like, oh God, because like, you forget how, when it's not available to you, just a hug or a little hand on your shoulder, even if you're not a huggy person, it's nice to have, like, be a bit tactile with people.
Absolutely.
And I actually wanted to ask you, just you have a drama school, like, or drama class, like a West End Jade Jordan's West End Academy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that, right? Because I heard you talking about it, and the passion just like comes out of you. Like, it seems like you love it and you love the kids and stuff. Like, is that something you always wanted to do? Because I think there's always these actors who have drama classes and are kind of like, oh Jesus, like you're doing it kind of half reluctantly. Sorry if anyone has a child in a drama class.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Where do you go and go, oh Jesus Christ, you know? But like,
Yeah.
you seem to love it. Was that something you always wanted to do and you just started it on a whim? Or is it like, because obviously you can still have that while you're acting, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But like, it seems that you actually genuinely are into it. Like, are mad for it.
It's gas because I started the NPAS National Performing Arts School. Actually, before it was the factory. I was one of the first intakes for Diggs Lane. I think it was 1993.
Yeah.
I started there. So I went there as a kid. The best years of my life. You get dropped off on a Saturday. You'd be there all day. Amazing.
Yeah.
And it was weird. I remember saying to me ma years ago, maybe as a kid, I'd love to have my own place like that for kids to just go and be, even if it's something you want to do when you're older or not.
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought, obviously, with the million jobs I was doing in London, I ended up teaching, and I was like, I really enjoy it. And I was only back about a week after moving back here. And a family friend got in touch and was like, I'm after opening up, do you know Junction 6?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I have a space there. Would you like to come in and teach drama? I was like, no, thanks, you're grand. No, not for me. Like, I can teach for somebody else, but not for myself. Then my ma sat down and had a chat with me, and she was like, well, you're moaning about the jobs that you do.
Yeah.
You enjoy teaching. You know, why don't you give it a bash? So anyway, with that, 2 days later, I put something up on Facebook, and I was like, look, having an open day, blah, 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 free entry, da-da-da. And yeah, it kind of escalated from there. So I moved from Junction 6, and I have 2 community centres, and I teach in a special needs school down on the Navan Road, St. Vincent's. Yeah. So overall, I've like 88 little babies.
Amazing.
And my thing is with this, it's expensive. Extra curriculum is expensive. I don't have kids, but I know it is.
Yeah.
Kids nowadays are in everything. I kind of want to keep it. I want to keep it cheap, and I want to keep it that parents are able to pay as you go. And if I can help you in any way, I will do that. But I'm mad about it. It's like my kids are my family. The parents are my family. I have a relationship with them. Some of them text me every day to ask how I am or send me photos of the kids. And especially work with special needs kids. You can make such a difference. Like sometimes with a little flick of an eye, you're like, fuck, I'm actually getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. And I'm very lucky that I found that other job that I love, that I'm mad about, Unfortunately, I haven't been able to start back yet because of COVID. But yeah, I can't wait to start back. They're like, you just see kids grow every day.
Yeah.
I have kids that couldn't even say their name because they were so shy. And now they're one in the class. I'm like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Or you hear a parent going to a parent-teacher meeting and they come in and, for example, one little boy was really quiet and never used to really speak in his class or whatever. Getting an email off his mum to say he wrote a poem and he read it to his first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth and assembly classes.
Oh my God.
I'm like, dads.
Oh my God. So
that for me is like, do you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, really, we're doing that too.
I suppose as well you're creating, what you're saying is you're creating a space for people. So that's kind of, or a space for kids. And I think that's probably the difference, like your intention behind it is that. So that can drive you, that can fuel you. Because I think sometimes, when you're doing, if you're taking it as a oh, that's my side job or that's my thing, that's my other thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's not as pure. Like you're not doing it you're not seeing the growth in the kids, and you're not kind of thinking back to when you were a kid and how much oh my God, drama classes when I was a kid was like your zone, your safe space, your place to be yourself and everything.
Yeah, it's mad, because I kind of, as well, I've got 3 people, if I get a job or whatever, 3 actors who come in and take over the classes for me and stuff. And I think it's very important when you get feedback off them as well that, you know, I know this is probably going to sound weird, but my kids are nice.
Yeah.
I tell them from the get-go, you know, in this industry, you have to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, every job, I teach them everything that I'm learning still. I think that's important, you know.
Yes.
You go for an audition, children, and you might not necessarily get it, and that's okay. And I think even having people teaching for you, coming back and going, do you know what? Your kids are an absolute pleasure. I'm just like, well, that's the space I want to have.
Yeah.
You know, you know, you always get pushy parents and stuff. I don't have any of that.
Yeah.
Because from the beginning, I'm like, you know, that's not what my academy is about. And my academy is here for every individual is really different.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. And the support they have for each other. The support they have for each other in the room is just like, I'm like,
yeah,
ledge balls. Do you know what I mean?
So it's like, it's like a little community because it's because in some drama classes, like it would be quite competitive. Like
this
with
is
kids.
it.
Yeah.
That was my thing going forward. I was like, I don't really want to entertain that.
Yeah.
I think it's important that every child is equal. You know, every child has different stages where they progress.
Yeah.
So we do in the class as well. I do speech and drama exams. We had Fish Pond come out, was there a while ago. Do you know?
Yeah.
Get them little auditions because they're at that point where they can start having auditions and stuff. And they are, and some of them are bagging gigs already. And you know, I do TV week with them, where I have a pal that comes out from Bow Street to do TV week. So my idea is to keep professionals around them because we're the ones actually learning. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if we're still learning and working away, we can bring that back to the babies. And I keep calling them babies, not babies. They're taller than me. But yeah, I think it's important to teach them what this world is actually really about because I was taught incorrectly.
Yes. And how you can then use what kind of didn't work for you or was not, you know, harmed you to then kind of teach moving forward, like in a positive way. The negatives that you've experienced, you can kind of change that is amazing. That makes such a huge difference. Yeah,
that's my idea. And as well, like, not everybody can work with kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think you get that gift and kids warm to you. You know, Sean Dunn, he does a lot with kids. Yeah. You know, he works a lot with the Ark, and I'm going to be working on a really cool project with him soon. And, you know, if people like that can, you know, start to collaborate together and, you know, it's hard being a kid.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's not easy. You know, and I think sometimes you're comparing yourself as a kid and, you know, I think it's important that you create a really, really safe place where they can put up their hand and ask a question or make mistakes. Nothing's wrong. In my classes, not one thing is wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's so good because that's kind of how people should be coming into the industry, even from that age, like that their look, everything about them is unique and somebody needs a one of them in something at some point, you know, like they'll need that. And whereas, and sometimes that's how we go into drama school and then we come out of drama school and are like, no, because you're kind of trying to be mushed into a form that doesn't fit you or into a, you know, a mold that isn't yours.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's all part of growing up, you know, you sometimes you know, one day what you are, then the next day you don't know what you are, or you don't know who you are or how you feel. That's just part of hormones going all over the place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably one of the, again, you know what, one of the girls said to me today, Dublin loves you. And I'm like, actually, it really does at the moment. Yeah. Dublin really does love me. And I absolutely adore it back. Do you know what I mean? I just feel so blessed to be doing all the things that I'm doing at the moment. And I'm just like, this is great. And, you know, we'll all hit that point again where you're feeling shy about yourself. But, you know, if you can stay, just mind yourself as well, you know, and stop letting that little voice in. I know you speak a lot about the little voices, but trust that you are enough.
Yeah.
And trust. What did you say earlier on that I was rubbing on you?
Oh, gosh.
That you're in the industry. What is it?
Oh, with the industry, that they're looking for you to fix their problem. Is that the one? Yeah, they're looking for you to fix their problem. They don't need another problem.
And as well, that you hold on to you being called in the room.
Yeah.
You know, they want you in that room.
Yeah.
Like they want you in that room.
Yeah, if you've been called in, they're not doing you a favor.
Yeah, but I'm sure you even had it before. Like, why if they called me in? And you have that. Yeah,
I'm like, but I don't usually do this kind of. Oh, but that's suspicious, Yeah.
They mustn't have had nobody else to see. Like, there's all this shite going on in your head. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like, come here. It's a funny world, but I think, finding what works for you and keeping yourself, like, I suppose yoga, meditation. I'm in the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and that is my medicine.
Yeah.
And fresh air is my medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. And knowing what your medicine is, knowing what you need.
Yeah. And I think maybe that is something with age, or maybe that's having years of feeling shite about yourself. But it is. Life kind of falls into place when it should. Yeah. I suppose.
I have to say, you're definitely a testament to it. I have one I always say reluctant because I never want to stop the chats, but particularly don't want to stop the chats with you because I'm having such a nice time. But what my final question is usually, what does creativity mean to you? It can be as waffly as you like. It's a pretty open question.
Yeah. You know what I say? I feel really lucky for what I've chose to do because I get to play.
Yeah.
We're big kids. You're a big kid. I'm a big kid. We're all big kids and we get to play. Be free. God, I'm going to start rambling. Yeah, creativity to me is just, sometimes I remember somebody saying to me before, like, everyone has their own take on acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, in Bow Street, they kind of said to me, well, you're just you saying somebody else's words.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's true to a certain extent. Do you know what I mean? If you don't know who you are, how are you going to be able to deliver being somebody else? Have I said that in the right way?
No, I think that's so true because it doesn't matter. Because if you're constantly lying to yourself or you don't know who you are, then how can you play? How can you say anything? Because you've no idea. Like, it's like we have to, as artists, be so in touch with who we are and know ourselves so intimately that it's very easy to step into another skin or read somebody else's words because we've no doubt over, this is, I do this when I'm like this. And you've no doubt. Yeah, I think that for me feels clear, but I'm probably not articulating it very well.
I'm trying to say what I have to hear. I don't know if that's
I think that's true. I think because regardless of what your method of getting into character or anything is, you need to really know yourself so that you really need to know yourself so you can get away from yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know that Amy has certain things that she does if she's uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And you can use that, or you can do the exact opposite of that.
Can do the exact opposite. Yeah. But just being free. Like, it's gas. I've started doing a menstrual cycle course online.
Stop.
It's wicked. Wicked, with a lady called Kitty McGuire. She's really big in the yoga world over here. Yeah. So I've learned so much about myself.
And is that the same? Because I've heard Aisling B talking about this book, Period Power.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to get it because she's talking about how where you are in your cycle affects everything. So you need to be really.
Gosh.
And I think I feel like in our age group, there's been this weird lapse of maybe because of contraception coming in, the contraception was available to us. So whereas people my mother's age would very much have known their cycles and everything around it because their contraception would be their cycle. We don't.
Absolutely.
So and I've only started to kind of read up on things and go, oh my God.
You need to get the book. I have learned so much.
Yeah.
So much. As well, and there's so much trauma there with women.
Yeah.
When you become a woman for the first time, that can be as young as 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're there's so much oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And there's trauma everywhere.
Yeah. And the most embarrassing thing in school is if a sanitary towel or a tampon falls out of the bag. Yeah.
Scarlet. And
you're shoving it up your sleeve going into the toilet. Why not just walk out to the toilet? Who cares?
Is there anything on the back of me or oh God.
Yeah.
But even little things like that, that course, Jesus, is like just learning. And as women, I didn't really know that much.
Yeah. No,
Like, oh my God.
I don't think we do, and I hope. Yeah, well, I'm going to read it now. Yeah, because
Read it.
Yeah, it was actually only becoming a mother that I was like, oh God, there's a cycle. Like, you have a cycle. You have to use it or not use it. Like, and be aware of it, and then knowing because people would just be like, oh, I'm PMSing, and
yeah.
It's like, no, there's lots of things attached to it. Like your entire
lots of things. And as well, not only that, knowing when you need to, within the month, when you need to slow down and actually go, do you know what? That's enough for me. I'm going to give myself literally 1% today. I'm going to mind me, have a little walk. I'm not going to train today. I'm not going to do any writing. So it's all about knowing. Read that book. It's blown my mind. This course has blown my mind, because now I feel like I'm in tune with, we go through so much in a month, actually. Yeah,
we really do. And then we have to do it all again.
Beast mode into, oh my God, feeling gorgeous. Your hair is gorgeous, skin, feeling like an and then you look like a minger, and then you feel shite and you just want to hibernate. It's just gas.
And it's always like a surprise the following. That's what I find so funny. It's always a surprise the following month. You're like, I feel shite and I don't know why. And it's like, you felt like this exactly 1 month ago. There was a very
yeah. And like, have a little read of it. Like, I think we're getting so much more with talking about menstrual cycles and stuff like that. So I've actually learned a lot with that as well. Onto when to not pick up stuff and when to just sit on my arse and eat shy food if I want. Do you know what I mean? So it's please read that though for me, because I think your mind will be big and blown.
Oh, I definitely will. Oh, Jade, I know I could. Thank you so much. You are a testament to hard work and positivity, and it just, honestly, I love your attitude. I knew I would anyway, so I'm glad I got to chat to you. I can't wait to chat in the real. Yeah, I can't wait to chat in the real world, because this is so hard.
I know, like, points.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely. I'm like, yes. And I hope to even work with you someday. That's how much I just am like, you are totally.
We will. If let's write our own and make it happen.
Exactly. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Jade. Thank you.
See you soon.
See you. Thanks so much.
Bye.
So there you have it. Jade Jordan. I loved her. Her attitude, the energy she gives off is just gorgeous. She is a beautiful girl inside and out. And I love hearing stories of people who had to do the work, had to graft to get there, and a moment in time comes and suddenly they're ready and everything falls into place. But it's lovely to see the work and the background behind it, and also to know that if a quiet time happens again, you're ready, you can do it, because you've grown and you've learnt. Jade is a testament to that. She is beautiful inside and out, and I just really enjoy chatting to her. So yes, for pints when all this is over, Jade. I wish you the very best. I think you're wonderful, and keep going how you're going, because it seems to be working. If you guys liked the podcast, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and share. Tell everybody. I really hope you've enjoyed the first episode of our second series. And until next time, have a great day, guys.